Mario, I don't get it. You weren't the strongest, you weren't the fastest, but everyone knows you. Okay, so you didn't try to compete with Call of Duty or Halo, but you invited Wario to play tennis? He didn't try to compete with the Sharks. He threw a party and invited everyone. So here we have the concept of the blue ocean, which is inviting more people and making things relatable to that population, even if they aren't into your passion or interest or niche. The red ocean is where people compete with one another for limited resources. With the red ocean, it's more about being the best. With the blue ocean, it doesn't really matter what the competition is doing. With the blue ocean, it's more about being yourself and finding ways to reach out to other people. When you feel like you're competing with everyone, maybe you're not competing with anyone. Maybe instead, you're simply convinced that you have to fight against these sharks in the bloody red ocean. That there's only so much room that we're all competing in the same spaces, trying to say the same things to the same people. When in reality, you may be exhausting yourself. Instead of competing against one another, how can we invite one another? Now, this might seem like it only applies to you if you're into business, but trust me, stick around. It does relate to you even if it's not about business. Have you ever played Wii Sports? In Wii Sports, you bowl, play tennis, play baseball. And it was such a great game because everyone played it. The Wiimote was accessible because it looked like a remote control on a TV. Nintendo at the time could have competed with Xbox and PlayStation, both systems with better graphics and maybe arguably better titles. But they chose to take a different strategy. It wasn't actually built for gamers, it was built for everyone. Whether your parents, your grandparents, the whole family could get involved. That's what made the Wii so genius. Look at how even Mario games are structured. So if you've ever played Mario Kart, for example, you'll notice that they don't show how long it took you to complete the race at the end, which I imagine would make some gamers feel kind of bad if they finish way later than other people. Instead, they simply show the rankings, how many points you get, everybody gets points, and you move on. Or look at Mario Party, how that game is set up, where even if you are dead last at the end of the last dice roll, you still have a chance to win and get random stars that are given based on who knows what. I've certainly won and lost by those. Let's paint the picture of the blue ocean. It's very much about relating to everyone. So by its nature, it's both steady and adaptive. So picture the tranquil waves of a peaceful ocean. And if you were to stand in that ocean, you'd feel the waves back and forth. And so while some waves would hit you head on, others kind of go around you and then softly pass by. And likewise, when you have something to offer in the blue ocean, you're still offering that thing to those who are interested in it. But you're also making it accessible to other people who may not know about this thing or may not be interested in this thing unless you're able to communicate with them. In one of my favorite talks, Simon Sinek discusses Apple, and he talks about their sense of purpose. In his TED Talk, Start With Why. Instead of saying that they had the best computer, Apple connected with people about their mission. Look at even how the wording can be different. Apple doesn't advertise that they have 8 gigs of RAM when they were advertising for the iPod. Instead, they used 1,000 songs in your pocket. From the beginning, Steve Jobs wanted to make computers accessible. Computers at the time were mainly for people who liked computers. They weren't in every home. We didn't have them in our pockets like we do now. So he had a vision, and while he marketed to the innovators, he also marketed to the rest of us, those who were left out of the original market for computers. His interest in calligraphy is part of the reason that we all have a nice display to look on today, whether you're looking at a Mac or a PC. The idea is that both Nintendo and Apple have a broad appeal to many audiences, where even your grandparents might have picked up a Wii or have an iPhone. So Mr. Ross, that's really cool, but what does the blue ocean have to do with me? There's many different ways to communicate with people, but the top 3 ways are through feelings, through information or facts, and through fun. By doing this, you start to find a way to bring them in as well. If you have a business, this is how you can market. So you could talk about your product or your service in a way that isn't just to your primary market. It's also to people who may not know about your product or may not have been interested otherwise. How do I communicate this in a way that feels like we're chatting about something that they already care about than a sales pitch? It's also a way to connect with people in general. So say you have a family member, a friend, even your partner, and you have a hobby or a passion that you want to share with them. You might use the blue ocean to connect with them because they may not like the thing that you're interested in, but they may like something they're interested in that you can connect it with. That way you can relate to them much easier and they can understand what that thing means for you because they understand what this thing means for them. One common example for me is I love the band Bleachers. Now, most people haven't heard of Bleachers, but when I tell them, oh, well, Jack Antonoff is their lead singer and Jack Antonoff produces for Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan, all of a sudden they're interested in Bleachers. To really drive home my point, take this very video for example. You didn't have a clue what the blue ocean was about, but you knew what Nintendo was and you knew what Apple was. And you was right in the title, so you were interested because for some reason Nintendo and Apple related back to you and you were curious as to why. Did I blue ocean you about the blue ocean? If you got something from this video, please subscribe as I'll be releasing more content to this channel. Thank you and I hope you have a wonderful day.